And welcome back to the show. The Tourette Association of America is a national not-for-profit organization that's dedicated to serving the needs of individuals affected by Tourette syndrome, as well as their families. As the only national organization serving this community, the Tourette Association works to raise awareness, advance research, and provide ongoing support to patients and families. Our next guest has recently joined its board of directors and is the highest ranking federal career employee with Tourette syndrome. Joining us now to tell us more details is the board is the board member of Tourette Association of America, Jerry Gidner. And Jerry, good to have you.
Hey, nice to be here, Darren. Thank you.
And thank you for taking the time to share with us a little bit about, for somebody who may not be so familiar with Tourette's, give them the definition of what exactly Tourette's is.
Sure. It's a neurological disorder, and it's makes you have involuntary motor and vocal tics. So your body moves in ways that you can't control or makes sounds that you can't control. There is no cure. There's some medicines for it that may or may not help depending on the person, but also come with some side effects.
And for you, as a person who's advanced themselves in the federal career, talk to us about how Tourette's has impacted your life.
Well, in a number of ways. Obviously, growing up with Tourette's, you're on a elementary school playground with facial tics, you get bullied. You know, there's just a stigma associated with it because you're different. And people with Tourette's respond to that in different ways. Some people really go into a shell, kind of get social anxiety. Some people just forge ahead and basically make their own path. Some do some combination. So I feel like it's affected me. I've been bullied. I've been discriminated against in some cases, but I just keep moving forward. And so far that's worked for me. So
moving forward, how about moving forward and then moving higher in the place of, you know, being the highest ranking, federal employee that's dealing with Tourette syndrome?
Yeah, so there's about 2 million civilian federal employees. I'm in the senior executive service, which is the top 7,500, 8,000 of those. Obviously, I don't know everybody in the senior executive corps across the whole government, but I don't know anybody else at that level that has Tourette syndrome. So I'm claiming that mantle. If somebody else is a fellow traveler, I'm happy for them to come and walk along with me on that. But I just realized probably recently that I might be the highest ranking, and I just know there's a lot of people in the federal government who have Tourette syndrome or otherwise different somehow, and I just want to be use my position on the board and as a mentor to people in the federal government to be a role model and somebody to talk to who has reached the highest levels for people who are coming up and maybe having a difficult work environment, and see if I can help them with that.
And being a board member, talk to us about your voice and how important you feel like your voice will be, being that you are a person that lives, deals, and has real, boots on the ground with this.
Well, I think I'll have a pretty big voice on the Tourette's Association board. A number of people have Tourette's or have family members or are involved in research, so it's great that way. It's you're not going to stand out having Tourette's on that board. So I kind of felt at home there already. But I'm already, in my role in the federal government, I've done a lot of strategic planning, that sort of thing. I'm helping the board come up with a new strategic plan right now. So I'm bringing that skill set to the board. The organization is going to be, it's going to celebrate its 50th anniversary next year. And so it's a good milestone to mark. It's time to have a new plan and figure out where the organization is going into the future.
Yeah. And so how's it feel being a new board member?
Oh, it's great. I've worked a lot on nonprofit boards at the local level where I live, but I wanted to move up to the national level. And obviously this organization has a mission near and dear to my heart. So it's just a perfect fit, actually.
Yeah. And for someone who may not be so familiar about the challenges later in life, I mean, there are some challenges that those with Tourette's have later in life. Make us aware a little bit about those.
Sure. So a lot of people have Tourette's, they'll have tics so severe they might break a rib or something. I mean, it can be really, really bad. I don't have that, but I've been having tics for over 50 years. And there's parts of my body that are just sore and worn out. You know, you twitch your toes 10 times a minute every day for, you know, all day, every day for 51 years, which is how long I've been ticking. You know, your feet hurt. Let me just put it that way. So you can have really, and I don't think it's been really studied, but you can have severe chronic muscle and, you know, issues from this. There's a lot of comorbids. People with Tourette's often have OCD, depression, anxiety. I've had to deal with some of those myself. And then there's just still this stigma, you know, even though I'm in a senior position in the federal government, I'm pretty confident in myself. I own my Tourette's. I can't change it. I've got it. I'm comfortable with that. Doesn't mean you don't get stared at walking down the street. So there is definitely a stigma, and there's definitely can be discrimination about it, even as an adult with it. So it's not an easy road. On the other hand, Tourette's has given me so many leadership gifts. It's the empathy, the kindness, the ability to see patterns for planning, the thick skin. I'm a much better leader with Tourette's than I ever would have been without Tourette's. So Tourette's it's difficult, but it's in many ways it's a gift.
Mhm. And for people who want to know more information, I mean, families who want more information in terms of how to support someone with Tourette's, what advice would you give?
Go to the Tourette Association of America website, tourette.org. There's webinars, there's support information, there's a big virtual conference coming up in May that's free. And the amount of programming the organization does is just amazing. And you can find out about dealing with schools. There's also chapters and support groups all over the country where you can meet with people who are local to where you are, hopefully. There's lists of doctors who might treat Tourette's or different places you can get therapy. So that would be my first advice. Go to the organization's website, tourette.org, and start there. The staff is great, and the information there is wide-ranging and really good information.
Jerry, thank you so much for being with us, and want to congratulate you on your perseverance and also your achievement. I mean, you're definitely inspiration to a lot of people, but thank you for taking the time for being with us here on Open.
Thank you, Daren. It's my pleasure.
All righty. Well, listen, if you want more information, please visit the website at tourette.org, and then also follow them on Facebook and Instagram at Tourette Association. Well,